There are three parts in this socket spigot joint, and you should be knowing which part we should be taking as the base product. Then after that, which part should be selected as spigot. Then after that, which part should be selected as the second part, and after that which part should be selected as third part. So here first we are going to select it as socket. Socket will be taken as base product. Most of the time how you are going to do that, first of all that part itself will be given over here. If you see here in the diagram what you are having, the diagram what will be there in the examination, that itself will be having the number 1 2 3. Otherwise most of the time the product which is having more dimension, that will be taken as the base product. Okay, so here it is taken as one, then socket, then after that second one is spigot, then after that third is quarter. So how many times we have to call it? Only one times we have to call them. So first is socket one time, then after that spigot has to be selected, which is second time, I mean one time. Then after that third should be quarter, which is again only one time. So first I'm going to keep this in isometric mode. Then once I keep it in isometric mode, then I'll be going to my CEDL folder, or whichever folder you have saved your product. There you have to select it, and after that I'll be selecting this socket spigot quarter joint folder, where I've kept all three parts: socket, spigot, and quarter. So here I'll be selecting this socket initially. Once I click on this socket, then the socket part will be coming over here. Then once the socket is brought over in this assembly environment, then you have to check whether in the front view it is all the features are available or not. See here, you have to keep this feature, which is trapezoidal cut in the socket. It has to be aligned in this XY line. Okay, it has to be aligned in this XY line, or in this horizontal intersection of the horizontal plane and sorry right side plane and horizontal plane. Then once we get this thing, once again I'll be keeping it in isometric mode. Then after that I'll be calling next part, which is spigot. See, when we are calling spigot or spigot part, at that time you should be knowing whether it is kept in correct alignment or not. If it is created in other direction, at that time you have to rotate it, and after that you have to bring it. Now as it is in the required manner only, I'll be directly calling it just by double clicking it. Then I'll be selecting this cylinder in this spigot. Then after that I'll be selecting inner cylinder of this socket. Then after that, see here, this phase 2 in the spigot, it will be joined with the face with the trapezoidal cut in the socket. Then after that, at last, we'll be having this straight cut with respect to this straight cut in the cylinder 1 socket, so that it will be joined over here. Okay. Now if you see it in the front view, you can see that it is perfectly aligned. It is perfectly aligned. See, this socket has been perfectly aligned. So this you should see. like the straight line is perfectly aligned or not. If it is not perfectly aligned, then it will be having some mismatch over here. So that should be there, that whether it is correctly done or not, that you should check. Then once it is done, the third part will be called, which is nothing but the quarter. So here I'll be clicking on this quarter and keeping it in wireframe mode only. So here you can select this shaded with visible edges. Okay, you can check that whether the part has been perfectly mated or not, or it is perfectly assembled or not. See here you can check that each and every line. Whenever you want to check whether it is perfectly aligned or not, you just have to check this straight line. Trapezoidal cut may be having some differences, but this straight cut will be having, it will be in the perfect orientation. So for that, even in the quarter also we should check whether the straight line or straight portion of this quarter, this portion, whether it is perfectly aligned or not, that we should check first. Okay. Then once again, I'll be keeping it in isometric mode. I'll be fitting this. Then after that, I'll be on this quarter. Okay. Then here, if you see it in front view, you can check that one is straight cylinder, another one is trapezoidal cylinder or is angled cylinder. We have to select this cylinder in this portion. This one, cylinder in 3, should be mated with this cylinder in the socket or spiral. Okay. Now you can go to this isometric view, or you can go with the front view, check whether it is perfectly aligned or not. Then you can zoom this, and here to move it in forward direction, I'll be selecting move part option. I'll be selecting this, I'll be selecting that. Z direction, Z direction. Then after this, see here, I'll be selecting once again assembly, which is assembled. Then after that, I'll be selecting this face in the quarter with respect to face in this socket, or I will show it over here, face in this socket. Now it is perfectly joined. Even if you go to this wireframe modeling also, you can see it over here. And I'll be keeping it in front view. See here, this straight line, it is joined, perfectly joined with this straight line over here. And if you see the trapezoidal cut in between that, it will be coming. See here, this will be placed in this particular region. Then after this, you can keep it in shaded with visible edges more. Okay. Then you will be having your sockets without quarter joint. Okay, sockets without quarter joint. This has to be converted into 2D diagram. So for that purpose, what we will be doing, we have to go for the section. So to create that section, which portion has to be kept and which portion has to be removed, to show that we have to have two sections. Now in the earlier quarter joint we had only one section because it was symmetric in nature, and if you cut one part another part will be easily available or easily visible. But here we have to have two sections just because it is this quarter is also there. Then apart from that there is a spigot, and after that spigot rod is there. Then after that we are having this socket. So to show all these things we'll be having the cut section. So I'll be keeping it in isometric mode. Then after that I'll be selecting this PMI section. Okay, PMI. Then after that I'll be section. Then after that I'll be selecting this top view. Here we'll be cutting, or here we are going to create a cut. I'll be starting it from a line where I should be taking it as from the midpoint only. So for that purpose, now I have to draw a line over here. If it was created symmetric, I showed you three methods, right? So when I was showing three methods at that time, I should have created it with symmetric extent. First one I have created with symmetric extent, then after that I have created in another method. So always if we keep it in symmetric method, this midpoint will be coming over here only. Okay, this midpoint will be coming over here only. So that will be the perfect method to create that socket. Then after that I'll be going to an option and I'll be cutting here. Then we'll be cutting it in symmetric extent. Okay, everywhere we are going to cut it, but not all the parts. Okay, not all the parts. So to cut it perfectly, you can go to front view and you can select till this point. You select till this. Then it will ask cut all parts, or you want to cut some selected parts. So I'll be selecting cut only selected parts. And after that I'll be selecting this socket only. Then after that I'll be going with this preview option. Okay, it will show, it will be cutting all these things. Then after that, okay, finishing it. Okay, here in the front view, see here, it will be showing inside part, and also this portion is sectioned. Now here, another sectioning should be done so that this quarter part also should be visible. So to show that, I'll be going to once again PMI, then section, and here also I'll be selecting this top view only, but I'll be creating the rectangle only from this point. Okay, only from this point till this, and will be extended till this portion. Another section over here. Then I'll be clicking on this return option. Then I'll be going with this symmetric extend. Okay, and once again you can check in the front view till what height it should be kept. Okay, if you keep it like this, then it will ask whether you want to cut all parts or you want to cut only selected parts. So select cut only selected parts, or you can select cut only unselected parts also. And once you select this cut only unselected parts, then you have to select the part which you don't want to cut. So that will be your quarter. Quarter should not be deselected. It should be selected. Then you can see the preview. Other things will be cut and preview will be preview of this quarter will be shown over here. Then after that you can click on this finish, or else you can select cut only selected parts, and by that you have to select two parts like socket and spigot. You have to select it. Once you select that, then after that it will be cutting that those two parts. Now you can see it in the front view. See here, you can see it in the front view, and also you can see the things from the right view also. Okay. Now this has to be converted into 2D diagram. This has to be converted into 2D diagram. So for that, we'll be keeping it once again in isometric diagram. Then after that, I'll be selecting it in. It has to be, sorry, it has to be saved. So I have to click on the save as. Then after that, I'll be selecting, writing it as socket. I got socket joint. And after that, I'll be selecting create a drawing. I'll be clicking on this normal.dft. I'll be clicking over here. Then after that, entire thing, whatever it is there, I'll be keeping it as same only. Then I'll be clicking on this next. Then if you want, you can go for the custom. Otherwise, I'll be selecting this front view. Then after that, I'll be selecting next. Then this one, this, this left side view, and this view. Okay, right bottom view I'm selecting. You can select, sorry, right top view I'm selecting. You can select even left top view also. You can select it. Okay, and I'll be keeping it over this region. So once I get this selected with sheet setup, then I have to select this as A4 sheet. Now I'll be clicking on this. Okay. Then after that, I don't require this top view, just to show that some of the diagram may require it, as it is cross section in nature, circular and cross section. So we will be requiring only front view, and will be requiring side view, and this isometric view is required, not this front view is required. So I'll be selecting that and I'll be deleting it. Okay. And after that, I'll be selecting this and I'll be keeping it over here. I'll be selecting front view and right side view over here, and this one I'll be keeping it in bottom of this sheet. Let me clicking on this fit option, and here these diagrams, and even this isometric diagram, I'm going to scale it to 0.800 or zero point 0.8. And even this also, this has to be changed to 0.8. So keeping it over here. Now what has to be done? This front view should be updated. Okay, this front view should be updated. So for that purpose, I'll be selecting it. Then after that, I'll be clicking on right click. Then after that, I'll be clicking on this properties. Once I select this properties, I'll be going to general, auto balloon next on next update. I'll be selecting it. Then after that, display. Hidden edge style, I'll be removing it. Okay. Then after that, text and color will be remaining same. In section, I'll be selecting section 1 and section 2. Then annotation will be there, model option will be there, view shading, advanced. Nothing I want to change. I'll be just clicking on this. Okay. Now this has to be updated. This view is not updated. So I'll be clicking on this update view. Once again, right click, then update view option I'll be selecting. Then this entire thing is updated now. Now I can keep this over here. And even the third part also I'll be keeping it over here. Even same thing can be done for even this isometric diagram also, and even okay, this also can be done with over here also, but it is not required. Like you can, if you go to properties and if you select these sections like section 1 and section 2, then this also can be once again updated. You can see that section is done, and even this isometric also same thing can be happen like section 1 and section 2. You can show it. You can show them, but it is not required. Only in front if you show it, then it is sufficient. Okay, no need to create. Select this section 1 and section 2. You can do it when you are having the assembly wherein you have to show all the things inside view or an isometric. At that time you can use that command, otherwise it is not required. Now I'll be going to parts list. I'll be selecting this parts list, and after that I'll be selecting this front view. Okay, I'll be selecting this front view, then I'll be clicking on this finish option. Now all the information it directly came. See here, item number 1, 2, 3, then document number is there, then after that title is there, then after that metal is there, and even the quantity is there. That has to be changed. See here, I have to go there and I have to change it to Times New Roman or Arial. Then after that, size and placement we will be keeping it same only. Columns we will be changing it. Document number will be removed from the list. Then I'll be clicking this. Okay. I'll be keeping it over here. All of the things directly came. I haven't see here. I haven't given the title for socket and spigot with capitals. So that's why it is coming as normal small letters, or in sentence case it is showing. Whereas in quarter I have kept it as capitals only. That you can see that socket and spigot and quarter is changed. So whatever you write it when you are putting the summary section in the file properties, at that time you should be very cautious and you have to keep it in one order only. Like this, if it is socket, spigot and quarter, the quarter should be in sentence case only, or if you keep it in uh, capitals, keep all the things in capitals, or if you are keeping it in small letters, you keep it in small letters only. Then it will be there will be uniformity, because we require uniformity in the diagram. That's it. Okay, whether you do it in any of the cases, that's okay. And once this is done, then after that, we'll be saving it as sockets without quarter joint dot df. Okay, you just directly click it on save option. Okay, diagram also has been created. Now, once you are selecting this, like socket, spigot joint, then after that, isometric view, you can select any other view also if you want to change it. Okay, if you want to change bottom view, or if you want to select right bottom view, or if you want to select left bottom view, at that time you can select it. But you should remember that in what way you want it, most of the time it will be shown in the top right view only. Okay, you can get it from the top right view only. So for that purpose, this will be shown. This fourth fourth option will be shown. If I change it to 2D view, then it will be, you cannot change its other dimension. So for that, you can make it, if anything, if any uh, problem arises in your diagram, at that time you can convert that into once again 2D diagram. Okay. Now I'll be saving this, and if anybody is having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. Okay, I'll give you access to unmute yourself. If you are having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. Okay, info. If anybody is having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will end the meeting here. Okay. Any doubt regarding this? Okay. If you are not having any doubt regarding what we have learned today, you can put your attendance in the chat box. Okay. You can put it in the chat box, and after that, you can leave. If any doubt is there regarding anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can put your attendance and after that, leave. If anybody is having any doubt regarding anything, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. Okay, put your attendance and after that, leave the meeting. Venkat Lakshmi and Adnan Nadaf. If you are having doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. Okay.